We're going to learn today a Sicha in Likkutei Sichois, Chelek Chof Aleph, Parshas Beshalach, Sicha Gimel, the third Sicha in Parshas Beshalach. And in Likkutei Sichois, that's page 89. A very, very interesting and geschmackig Sicha. I mean, it's poshet, we could say, Ashreinu Matev Chelkeinu. Or the Rebbe takes a Rasha Sicha. The Rebbe takes the Rasha and the Geoines and the pashtus that the Rebbe is answering the questions on Rasha is just unbelievable. And as we say, Likkutei Sichois, we have everything that you need. And it's just amazing to learn the Sicha. The same Parshas by Melchemes Amalek, stellt sich Rashi die Wörter wie Rabbi Moshe Klein und ist mefarish. Bishvil shenisatzel b'mitzvah, umono achatachto v'nesiak yodov. That's in the end of the Parshas Beshalach, we have the Milchome of Amalek. The Milchome that Amalek had with the Eden. And it says that Moshe Rabbeinu went up on the mountains with Aaron and Hur, and he was raising his hands to the Eibishter that there should be a successful Milchome. And it came in the middle of the day, his hands became heavy. He couldn't hold it more. So they got a rack and he was sitting on it, and they were holding his hands from underneath. Aaron and Hur were holding Moshe's hands. So Rashi says, why is that? I said, because he was, I don't know, there's no other word to say in his Tatzil. He was lazy in a mitzvah, and he sent somebody else, Yeshua, he sent to do the war. That's why his hands became heavy. The Rebbe says, what does Rashi want? The Rebbe is explaining what Rashi wants to say. Then he's going to have his question on Rashi. The Pirush was the Bepashtus is, Rashi is oisen zum Masmul sein, als Gam von dem Loschen Likkutei Moshe Klein. Loschen Heuve is mashma, das ist gewesen bei ihm damals am Matzav Tmidi mit Tzad sein Sikne. If you learn the Chumash and it says Likkutei Moshe Klein, means that Moshe Rabbeinu is now, his hands are heavy, not because of holding up the hands. Because if you want to say that his hands were heavy because he was standing all day and holding his hands up, I should have said a different lotion. I should have said, Vayir bedu Yedei Moshe. Moshe was with his hands up, and his hands became heavy. What does it say? Yedei Moshe quit him from before already. Maybe because he's old. He was 80 years old, and maybe because it brings down the Ralbag. The Ralbag says maybe he was a big, heavy person, and it was very hard to hold his hands up. So the Choyre Kvedim means that it's not from now. So Rashi comes to tell you, no, it is from now. This is what Rashi wants to explain. We shouldn't think that Kvedim, he was already couldn't hold his hand up, only because of this he couldn't hold it up. Loshno, he is mashma, das ist given by Madam Samatz, mit Tzadikne. Es Rashi mefarish, as das ist nicht, as it's not. No, it is demol geschenkt zu Libas Tibe. There was a reason why now his hands were Kvedim. We still have to find out why the Torah writes Yedei Moshe Kvedim, not by you, nicht die Loshno, by Yedei Moshe. Okay, this we're not gonna, I don't know the answer to it, but from Rashi comes to tell us that it means that now his hands were heavy because there's a reason. What's the reason? Bishvil shenisatzel b'mitzvah, nesiak yodov, his hands became heavy, and he had to get somebody to help him out. So what Rashi wants to tell us is very understood. Now we have the questions, what is Rashi saying here? Just amazing, the questions that the Rebbe is asking. Man darf aber verstehen. In Parshas Shmois, we learned already Parshas Shmois, auf dem Posuk vayhi baderech b'moloin, vayivakish hamistoy. We know the story that when Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rebbe told him to go to Mitzrayim, and he started going to Mitzrayim, and then the Malach came in the hotel wherever it was, vayhi b'moloin, and he wanted to kill him. What happened? So it says because he didn't do the mitzvah of Bris for Eliezer, right? So what does Rashi say there? Is Rashi meforish vayivakish hamistoy? Who did he want to kill? LeMoshe. Lefish lo imoles Eliezer bnoi, because he didn't make the bris for Eliezer bnoi, but shenis Rashi, because he was also I don't know, Finnish noch gelosen, how do you say in English? A schlump, a schlepper, what? Laid back. Laid back, okay, yeah, shenis Rashi. Nenash oynish misse. That's why he was supposed to get oynish misse. This is what Rashi brings down, and then Rashi says, Tanya, Omar Rabbi Yosi, Chaz v'sholem. How could he say that Moshe Rabbeinu is Rashi? Lo is Rashi. El Omar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tzivah nichulu. He says, I have a dilemma. What should I do? The Rebbe tells me to go to Mitzrayim. I have to listen right away. The Rebbe tells me to do a bris. What do? Make a bris and go is dangerous, right? Make a bris and go is dangerous. What do? So he went without a bris because to listen to what the Rebbe told him. So Rabbi Yoshi comes in a gate. What Rashi says that he was laid back, and that's because he didn't have a choice. That's what he did. Bald Rashi sagt nicht für den zweiten Pirush, das ist Rashi Karetz, der nicht mamisch schüttet im Mikro. Rashi in general, wenn Rashi bringst du Pirushim, Rashi says Dovoracher, Amedres, it says here makes it one. It says the Pirush what he says is Rashi, and then it says Omar Rabbi Yossi, he makes it into one. Nicht mamisch schüttet im Mikro. Ist verständig, als soll ich halt schüttet im Mikro, man sich noch a Pirush zu bewornen, als Chazul Shalom ins Rashi. When Rashi gives you the Pirush of this, he can't tell you that Omar Rabbi Yossi is a Medrash, because in schüttet im Mikro, how could it be that Moshe Rabbeinu is Rachel? You're talking about somebody very special, and he isn't Rachel. So he must bring Omar Rabbi Yossi, Chas Beshalach. That's why he makes it into one. Einfach was? So if Rachel is looking to excuse Moshe, he must bring that there's a medrash that it says this Rachel. And he must bring Omar Rabbi Yossi that Chas Beshalach. What happened here? Why here when it says Nitzatzel b'mitzvah, he doesn't bring any other pirush? Unbelievable question. That in Shmois you're looking to excuse Moshe, and here you don't. That's what the Rebbe says. Einfach was doch Rashi da bepschitus, nicht Satzel b'mitzvah, and that's it. Und ist erfahren, Nenash gewonnen, und bringt da viele nicht der zweiten Pirush, was soll schöne sein, dem von Asel Moshe. You could bring a second Pirush, that it's going to negate the idea of Nisatzel. Why don't you do it? A beautiful question. Noch mehr, the Rebbe says the question becomes even more. Euch leut den ersten Pirush in Rashi dort ist nicht moving. The first Pirush in Rashi there, it says nicht Rashi, right? Wie bald, als Moshe Shenenash geworden, von Israel bei Mitzvah, ist doch Move und Porsche, dass von da non ist Moshe gewesen so, hat bei ihm, sondern sein Chas Shalom kennen von Israel bei Mitzvah. Unbelievable. According to the first shot there, that Moshe did in Israel. Yeah? If somebody is in Israel, and he sees that a Malach comes, and he wants to swallow him, he wants to kill him, what happens after that? Any person that has Seichel, what happens? From now on, I'm going to be a million times careful in everything this. How come that here comes, Rashi says, Nisatzel again? We were just almost killed. Why is this Satzel again? Beautiful, unbelievable question. Is bei ihm soll nicht sein, Chas V'Sholom kennen wir das Rashi. Ein wie als da ist der Rashi mefarisch, dass es ist gewähnt bei Moshe, an dem von der Satzel bei Mitzvah, and he doesn't add anything else. Okay. Voice based. Now, the Rebbe told us a question, how come Rashi doesn't bring a different Pirush than his Rashi? Right? So the Rebbe says, where do we find something that Moshe is not Satzel? The Rebbe is going to bring us two things, two places that it says that it was not because the same as we have there. One Pirush is this Rashi. Omar Rabbi Yossi Chas Beshalach, the same thing we have here. And Rashi doesn't say it. What happened to you, Rashi? Why don't you bring it? Let's see inside. Base, in Midrash Chazal, seinen da euch andere Timing, for what kommt the Yod of the other reasons. Aleph, in Targum Yonason, you know, the Targum Yonason and Targum Unkeles are not just a translation. They're also adding on things on the Chumash. Okay. In Targum Yonason steht, dass das ist der Fall, was hat abgelegt die Milchama auf Mocha, weil es dachte bimau. He says, why was the Yod of Kvedim? Because he pushed off the war to next day. Because he pushed it off next day. That's why his hands became, he was punished, and his hands became heavy, and he couldn't hold his hands. This is one Pirush. Based, noch atam steht, Yokru Yodov shel Moshe, mishum avoniseyem shel Israel, שאומרו, היש השם בקרבנו. What's the pshat? Pshat is that Moshe Rabbeinu, why does his hand became? It says later in the Chumash, it says that Moshe Rabbeinu went always to the Eibishter and asked forgiveness for the Eden. One time, a second time, came the third time, he says, how much could I go? I'm embarrassed already to go to the Eibishter test. Here also. Why did he call the Yodov? Because why did the Milchome come? Because of their Averes. If it's their Averes, that's called the Yodov. So it's nothing to do with Moshe, it's not Satzel. So why does Rashi use this Pirush here? Rashi could have said, one Pirush, the same is there, Nizrashi, near Nisatzel, and then say, I have another Pirush. It's not because of it, it's because of the Averes. Chas V'Sholom to say that Moshe is Nisatzel, as Rabbi Yossi says. Chas V'Sholom. Because the Rebbe is going to explain why is the first Pirush that the Targum Yonason he could not bring. Why can't he bring it? Very simple answer. Because it's the same as Rashi says. What does Rashi say in this Rashi? The Targum Yonason says the same thing because they push it off for tomorrow. So he can't use it. Das ist Rashi bringt nicht dem ersten Tam al Kapon mal Pirush Sheni, ist moving. Weil Afal, wer es beteuchnet, ist es wieder Tam, das Rashi sagt bei Pirush Sheni von Epichas Ruzes bei Moshe. The Rebbe says not only this, I have another reason why he can't use this Pirush of Yonason Ben Ezeh. Aber der Tam ist nicht mistaber im Schütte של Mikro, also because it doesn't make sense. As mit Zad Atzlut hat sich die Sache nicht getan bis morgen. I can't say that because of being lazy, he pushed it off for tomorrow. There's reasons why he pushed it off for tomorrow. Amalek comes to fight. Yeah, we see now the Milchome, we're in the middle of the Milchome in Eretz Yisrael, right? You can't go out to a war in the afternoon when Amalek came. You have to make a plan. As we see him, it tells you Yeshua Pchalon Anoshim, and Anoshim is special. You have to have a plan how you're going to war. You're going from this side, you're going from this side. How are you going to do the war? So that's why Rashi could not, so that's why we can't use this Yonis Benuzil, why push it up for tomorrow. It's not. But the Rebbe says what the real question is, she's aber nicht move on, it's not understood. Was lernt der Rashi nicht dem Tam mit Nea in Esteyem Shel Israel, was lo idem is nicht Nisatzel Moshe. Yeah. So we have a very interesting till now, very simple. Rashi says Nisatzel Moshe, the Rebbe asks a beautiful question. Why doesn't he use what he uses by the story with the priest? Then is Rashi, and Rashi brings right away a second question. He doesn't even say that it's a medrash, because he wants to say that in Pirush Apostle, a child is going to have a question. Moshe Rabbeinu is Rashi, so he tells them, Amar Rabbi Sichas Beshalach. And here he doesn't say it. He leaves them Nisatzel Moshe. Now the Rebbe is going to explain us in this where we learn now what is the idea of the avoidance of the Eden brought Moshe Rabbeinu to have his hands heavy. Befragt das ben Eden die da, also wenn ich sehen Shel Israel nicht kein Chidush. Das ist schon gesagt geworden früher in Pirush Rashi. Rashi said that before. Als die ganze Zibbe von Milchemes Amalek ist das, was die Jiden haben gesagt, Ayesh Hashem Bekirbeinu. Rashi says, how come that the Rebishter put in the Torah, Ayesh Hashem Bekirbeinu, right after that, Vayaveh Amalek. To tell us, why did Amalek come? Because it says Ayesh Hashem Bekirbeinu. So I see that the whole idea of Amalek is Ayesh Hashem Bekirbeinu. So it's very geschmack and very simple to say that Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't hold his hands because he was zerbrochen from the avoidance of the Yid. Is doch mehr matim zu lernen al koponim als das zweite Pirush. I don't say use it as the first Pirush, but as a second Pirush you could use it as with dem Moshe Klein is zu lieber wenn es dem Shel Israel, but wegen dem was in die Teure erzählt. Eider zu Moshe sein als das zu lieber nie von Nisatzel bei Moshe. Why do you leave us with a story that it's Moshe is Nisatzel? Euch gibel. Die Schwierigkeit im Pirush heißt, dass Nisatzel Moshe bei Mitzvah Monach Hatachto wird noch größer. We're not finished with the questions. The Rebbe is going to have the question till Oisei, Gimel and Dalet, to say that the question is even stronger. In Parshas Pinchos, of them was Moshe had gebeten beim Ebersten. If Koid Hashem Ish Alo Eido, Hashem Yetzel Lefneim Goymer, we learn in Parshas Pinchos that Moshe got to know that he's not taking it in Eretz Yisrael. So he told the Eberster, you know what? You need, and the Eberster told them, you're telling me about my kids? For sure I'm going to get them a good money. What did Moshe ask? Somebody, Yetzel Lefneim, that is going to go in front of them when it comes to war, wherever he goes, he's going to go in front of them. What does Rashi say there? Is Rashi mefarish? Lo yikeder malchayo umois yesh bebotayim u'mishalchan eskaya lesayim lemilchama. And כמו שעשיתי אני, שנלחמתי בשיחם voig. Rashi says, why did Moshe Rabbeinu say, Asher yetze lifneim? Moshe Rabbeinu tells the Eibishter, I'm not like all the kings of the Goyim, that they sit down and they send the Chayalim, they should go play. I went myself by Sichon voig. So right away, what is going on here? Moshe says, I went by Sichon voig. What happens 4 years earlier when there was a Milchama with Amalek? He didn't go. So we have to understand what's going on here. That says, as Moshe is given clear, Moshe Rabbeinu is clear that Aish Alo Eido darf alleine rausgehen leMilchama. He has to go himself. Und noch mehr, Moshe bringt als Beispiel in dem sein eigener Anoge bepoel. He tells the Eibishter that I went out myself. The same thing, I need somebody to take over that is going to go out himself. Moshe, das ist ja nicht, nilchamte bis Sichon voig. He was already 120 years old. What happened now by Amalek is 4 years younger? Why didn't he go? He's Dr. Moa bei Yoister. Wie kommt das? Was sein dich der Ish Alo Eido? You are the Ish Alo Eido. You're asking that you should Yetzel Lifneim. And you say that I went out by the Milchemes Sichon voig. How come mit 40 years younger? He's 4 years younger. Because Amalek was right after Yetzias Mitzrayim. And the Sichon voig was mamish right before going into Israel, so it's 4 years different. Moshe ben Shmoinim Shonov, and he came out of Mitzrayim, and now he's already 120. He's mit 40 years younger, he's younger 4 years. By Milchemes Amalek, is Nisatzel Moshe? Doesn't make any sense. He's using it as a tiny to the Eibishter, and Amalek is that. But we have to come to a conclusion that there's a reason why he didn't go out by the Milchama of Amalek. He knows that he needs Asher Yetzel Lifneim. That's what he asked from the Eibishter, and he tells the Eibishter an example that I went out myself by Sichon voig. Why didn't you go out by Amalek? You were 4 years younger. What is going on here? We must come to a conclusion. The Rebbe says, what is the conclusion? Is von dem Gufe Muchach, als der Ingen von Nisatzel bei Milchemes Amalek ist nicht kein Stiere dazu, was nicht Leute darf allein geben. It's not contradicting to this what Moshe didn't go out as a Nossi bei Israel, has to go to the first one. Und zu dem, was Moshe allein hat sich also gefühlt beim Milchanes Sicha, ihm selber nicht bei Sicha. So what is going on? What is it?
If we could talk this way, maybe Lord says it's lesson after the first time, and that's why that is. So the second
Was to learn the lesson.
I understand what he's asking, but it doesn't. He said that the first time he didn't go because
It was wrong.
insulting. It was wrong, and now he went because he thought that he made a mistake. If this would have been the story, he wouldn't have said. I need Moshe knew all the time. Moshe took him out of Mitzrayim. Moshe gave him man. Moshe gave him a slov. Moshe gave him the Kriyas Yamsuf with this stick and everything he did.
And puncture he didn't.
Puncture he didn't. So there must be something here hidden that he didn't go. Yeah, and not only this, he's using it as an explanation to the Eibishter. When you're going to take me away and get somebody else, I need somebody Yetzel Ifnei. Why didn't you go? What are you going to tell me? Because you're an old man. By 120 you did go. By 80 you didn't go. What's going on here? So the Rebbe says, must come to a conclusion. There's something here in the answer of the Rebbe is Poshet Mavil Al-Oraim, but the Rebbe is Mechadish. By Moshe didn't go here, and he didn't go by Sichon Voik. Poshet, unbelievable. Okay, Ois Dalet. Now the Rebbe is going to give us one more question in Rashi, two more questions in Rashi, simple questions, and then we're going to have the answer. And when we started learning, I was emphasizing what Rashi says here, what Rashi says in Shmois. To see that there is here some kind of different Rashi, unbelievable. The Rebbe said by Farbringen, I mentioned it a few times. If Rashi knew everything that we are mechadish in Rashi, but Rashi didn't know. But in this Rashi is something hidden, unbelievable hidden. And there's a reason why Rashi said in Satsei, and he didn't give us another reason, say Chas V'Sholem, the same as he brought by Shmois. Unbelievable. Let's see what it is. Yeah, it says good, yeah. Rashi wasn't, God forbid, Rashi wasn't tired when he wrote here in his Rashi in the Statsel. Why do you change the language? Yeah. This he knew. Yeah. But why? He didn't know why. Beruach HaKodesh, he wrote in his Rashi in the Statsel. Okay, yeah, very good. This he knew. Yeah, okay. Ois Dalet. It's not deep, it's geschmack, and it's understood everything. It's amazing. Wird man das verstehen, bei dem Adiuk in Loschen vom Pirush Rashi doch. Wo ist Meshane von dem Loschen, was sagt bei Pirush bei Parshas Beshalach? No, two things. Aleph, dort sagt Rashi shenis Rashi, and dort sagt er shenis Satzei. Where is the second question? Bei Pirush bei Parshas Beshalach steht shenis Rashi. That's it, some. And Pirush do is adding on something. This is the key of the whole thing. Shenis Satzei be mitzvah. Now the Rebbe is going to explain us what is the difference between a Otzel and a Rashlon. What is the difference? The Chelek zwischen Rashlonus and Atzlus is, what's the difference between a Rashlon and a Atzlon? Rashlonus meint allgemeine Obgelosenkeit, was is goyrim as melekt up to ton epis was. You know what it is? You see somebody in the street, you see his collar is up, the shirt is sticking out from his pants. That's use the word neglect. Yeah, I don't care. You know, it's in Yiddish, abgelosen. You know, I would use the word in Yiddish, a schlepper. You know, he goes with the shoes, not what do you call it? Tight, not tight. The shoes, the band, the strings are up, and that's called a rashlon. Is rashlonus? What is it?
באיסלאם משלנו כאלה אנשים, אולי לקרוא נצרי.
Careless, also a good word. Yeah, but what does it show? I don't care. I don't look up. You could go with, sometimes it should be folded. Anything that there is. Rashlon shows an essence of this person. When it comes to Atzlon, it's a completely different thing.
Pashtus mezid maybe mezid and shegig.
Huh?
Maybe mezid
and shegig. No. Rashlan or Rashlan. Atzlan is only one thing. And that's why Rashi is setting up the mitzvah. Because Moshe was Atzlan only by this thing by mitzvah. Okay. Okay, it's coming. Atzlonis is a poilkeit, but Noikeya protestika peule. It's not Atzlon. Atzlon doesn't have to be in everything. Atzlon could be, before we said that somebody Rashlon is a Obgelosenkeit in everything. When it comes to Atzlon, what the Rebbe says, a protestika, what is that? Do something, ton, gain. He's lazy to go somewhere. He's Atzlon. Aufstehen from Schlof. He doesn't want to get up from the bed. He wants to sleep. Let's look at footnote, what is that? 23. At Mosai, Shlomo Melech says in Mishle, he should have said one time. Why does he mention each time by the Otzel something? He's mentioning, Ad Mosai Otzel Tishkav, till when you're going to sleep, get up from your bed. Then he says, Toma Otzel Yodoi. The Otzel, when he wants to warm up his hands, instead of doing something and going to do something, when he sees somebody is emptying out a pot with hot water, he goes and he puts in his hands inside, and he stands and he's relaxing, it's getting nice and warm. That shows an Otzel. Oh, there's a third thing. Omar Otzel, Ari Bachutz. He has to go to shul. Somebody asked him, his wife, somebody, why don't you go to shul? He says, you know what? There's a lion outside. I'm afraid to go. Okay? That's somebody that is also a special thing. And the Rebbe used the three things: ton, gay, oifstem von Schloch. B'meile, fell this risus at Rosho. Now, benitten die da, now we're going to come back to us. Aber Ober is this, by Moshe nicht gewinnt kein Atzel Stam Chas V'Sholem. Chas V'Sholem, that Moshe had Atzel, so what Shlomo Melech says in Mishle. No, denn ist Atzel ben Mitzvah. Gabi der Mitzvah, wegen welcher es redet sich da, ist das eine von Atzlus, but it's not Atzlus. Here comes the Chiddush of the Rebbe. The Rebbe put on the seed. And Kedele Kamon, the Rebbe is going to explain it more in detail what happens with Moshe Rabbeinu. Is he Atzel or is not Atzel? Just unbelievable. I say, der Biur Bozer. The Sibben, was Moshe is nicht gegangen in der Melchome. So we have to understand now, right? Besides the questions of Rashi, we have to understand why did Moshe Rabbeinu not go in the Melchome of Amalek? That's what we're trying to explain now. The Sibbe was Moshe is nicht gegangen in der Melchome is at the Pshute shel Mikro. Nicht gewähnt an ihm von Rashplones, that are viele Atlas Chas V'Sholem. There was no Atlas, no Rashplones. The Rebbe is going to come to a conclusion that depends. Moshe Rabbeinu was 100% correct that he didn't go. By the Eibishter, it wasn't 100%. But the Moshe Rabbeinu was not. That's why Rashi doesn't have to give us a second reason, that it's not because in the Tatzel B'Mitzvah itself shows us that Moshe Rabbeinu's reason was here. Let's see what the reason is. I'm telling you, just unbelievable, the pshitus, the passions of the answer. Now, while Erot gehalten, listen to what Moshe Rabbeinu taught. Moshe Rabbeinu taught, as is nishmatim ben shmoinim shono zu sein ha'yetzi tzavo. He was thinking that by 80 years old, he doesn't have to go out in the war. Very good. I'm waiting for this. What happened by 120? He did go. Listen to this. Listen to the answer. Poshet Geschmack. Und noch mehr, not only should be a Chayal, but game berosh. He should be the leader from the Anspitzavo. Und umführen bei Melchome, you know who should do it? Is Matim, Fardivo sein in dem Gil von Yetzi Tzavo, was halt beteure ist von Ben Esrim bis Ben Shishit. Why? I'm going to explain why it is. Moshe Rabbeinu said, by 80 years old, I'm not, what should I say, not a candidate for it. It's not befitting for me to do it. Who has to do it? Yeshua has to do it. Give a look in footnote 26. Yeshua ayo b'beis ha-melchame, either membeis, or ben-nun-vov, or nun-zayin. The 3 years says, what is it? What was he? For sure before 60. So he has to be the leader. I'm 80 years old, I could not be the leader. If you were a leader by 120 and you went to the first and you're strong, you killed Oig Melech HaBosh on there. By 120 years old, you killed Oig Melech HaBosh. What happened there? What's the reason that you can't go? Listen. Naval was me gefunden. The Rebbe is asking the same question. Naval was me gefunden, dass Moshe Rabbeinu hat in jenem Mann durchgeführt, die alle Leute zum Eibschen, was a Sach, was sie sind verbunden mit Koyach und Gvure Chulu, but he did the Eibschen then. Moshe Rabbeinu was eating the rock to get water. Moshe Rabbeinu threw the ashes when Shrin came. So it says something very interesting. Moshe Rabbeinu had 2 hands full, Aaron had 2 hands full, and then everything fit in by Nes in Moshe's hand. 4 hands fit into Moshe's hand. His 2 hands and Aaron's 2. And then it threw it. So Rashi is explaining there by the market why. Because anybody takes a ball and wants to throw it, if you throw it with both hands, how far could you go? It doesn't go far. If you take it 1 hand and you give it goes far. So Moshe Rabbeinu did it flew in all Mitzrayim. And then he broke the rock and the water came out with a stick. He was a very strong man. So why didn't he go? Noch mehr. In der Melchome mit Sicha und Oig is Moshe Rabbeinu allein gegangen beroish von der Anshe Hatzavo. He himself went in the front. A Roish weiß nicht, wie angedeutet in Pirush Rashi. Rashi says there, give a look in Aoret 29, Sof Parshas Chukas, and Rashi brings on the Gemara. The Gemara says in Broches, O Karturo. Oig Melech HaBosh, I think it was the first one. The next one was probably Hitler, I don't see anybody else, that he wanted to eradicate all Am Yisrael. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah. So there is 3 of them. Yeah. Or now the Hamas also have the same thing. Anyway, so how do you do it? Am Israel was camping, and there was 3 parts and 3 parts of the camp. He went and he uprooted a mountain, 3 parts and 3 parts, holding it, and he was going to throw it on Am Israel. God forbid him finish Am Israel. What happened? The Rebbe sent ants, murashkes. The Rebbe sent ants, and they made a hole in the mountain, and it fell into his head. So he wanted to pick it up and throw it on the Eden. So his teeth grew up and they went into the mountain. So just take off this, he has to pull out his teeth. So he couldn't do it. At the same time, Moshe Rabbeinu went. He was 10 amos tall. He took a stick of 10 amos that he had, and he jumped 10 amos by 120, and he killed them. So what's going on here? What did he show? Oisher gewein lache gvure. Und da seien die schon in Agil Korev zu Meir Ve'eschrim Shono. Is aber da gekommen in ganz einander Matz. You have to understand what happened by the Milchama of Amalek. Now the Rebbe going to explain it. Beautiful.
All these things were miracles.
Yeah, you're getting the Likkutei of the Rebbe's answer. Let's see right now. Der Anok von dem Oibersten mit Iden bis zu der Milchama mit Amalek ist gewesen nicht auf Beteva. Der Eibstas conduct with Iden from beginning Moshe Rabbeinu coming to Mitzrayim till now. Makes. Yetzias Mitzrayim. Ever there chod lo yochol lot is mishom. 2.5 million people, or some people say 3 million people, are going out the middle of the day. Be'etzem hayom hazeh, tezvov nissen. Everybody's living. What a mess, what a miracle. 10 Makes, and then Kriyas Yamsuf, and then Man, and then Slov, and whatnot. Everything the Rebbe conducted himself with Eden was Lemailo Ben Ateva. No, Boif Nissi, Onem Dik von Neuschen zum Beispiel mit Mitzrayim, Yetzias Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf, Shelach hazeh, dann noch Yeridas Haman. You know what, in the midbar there's no food. Where's food coming from? From wheat that it grows from the earth. Here it comes down in Hashemayim. And they make a broche, Amoitzi Lechem in Hashemayim. Because it's come unbelievable things. Und dann noch die Yeridas Haman Vaslov, wo seien gekommen, Boif Nissi in Hashemayim, und haben gespeist alle Eden. Now comes a new thing. Come and die Koberin Refidim, wo Eden haben gesagt, Yesh Hashem bekirbeinu im Ayin. They say, is the Rebbe with us or not? That's what they ask. In dem Ebersten Sanoge gewähren mit Eden nicht gewähren in dem Eugen von Nissim Gluim. No more Nissim Gluim as of now. No, wie rasch gesagt, betrifft das Parshas Amalek. Stomach Parshas Zule Mikroze. Why did the Torah tell us the story of Yesh Hashem bekirbeinu and right away Vayovei Amalek? As Stomach Parshas Zule Mikroze lematom edani beneichem umezum elchol tzorchechem ואתם אומרים מה יש השם בקרבנו? חייכם שהכלב בו חולו. Und wieder loschen und Mostel fürs Rasche führt euch das Strich einmal auf. Rasche gives a Mostel in this Rasche. Rasche says that the father went with the son. He was holding him on his shoulders. And all of a sudden the son still something in danger. He says, "Ui, where's my father? What's going to happen with me? The lion is going to eat me up." His father says, "What? I'm holding you on my shoulders. I'm carrying you. I'm watching you." He says, "Where's my father?" He threw him off, and then the dog came. Same thing is here. They say, "Ayesh Hashem b'kirbeinu." So the Rebbe says, "What do you mean? I'm all the time with you. Look at the Nissim that I just finished with you." Amalek came. So why did Amalek came? Because of the Avere. So the Nissim are finished. No more Nissim. So what happens if there's no more Nissim? Und wieder, das says, the Sibbe from Melchemes Amalek is given Esther Ponim von dem Oibersten. Der Rebbe ist gerade upset, und Esther Ponim. Und bald, das in seinen Dämmel gewinnen, am Atzef nicht befriert. Noch von Esther Ponim, there was a new situation. Esther Ponim. Und Eipech, anogenistisch, das nochmal anogenistisch, der Rebbe hat sich gefordert, dass bei Etem Lose, da folgt die Milchome geführt werden in der Seder von der Milchome Tivis. Just unbelievable. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. How does the Milchome have to be? I can't go. I'm 80 years old. I'm not a soldier anymore. And not a manic to go in front and run the Milchome. Who has to do it? Somebody before 60. Because it's Teva. Teva, you have to go this. Look in footnote 31. That's why it says Lemocho. If you go with a nest, so the minute Amalek comes, God, the Rebbe is going to make a nest and you're going to win. If it's no nest, he has to take Yeshua, Harlona, Noshim, and make a plan. We're going from 4 sides. We're going to surround Amalek. We're going to kill him. Tell him what to do. That's why it says, "Say lochem beis hamilchama onechenitzav." Why? Because the seder hamilchama al pi hateva, tochli esachon ele milchama. Chiras hanoshim, tzidor anshe chayil, v'oif ma milchama. How do you go? How do you approaching this war? Okay. As bei der Yotzei Tzovo soll sein, aber die Yotzei Tzovo soll sein bechar. ובפרט רואים דם בראש הצובו, כל לא יחזיין in dem גיל, הגבורה, מבין 10 ועד 60. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu could not go in the Milchama of Amalek. Unbelievable answer. מה שאין, okay, now we're going to go back to Milchemes Sicha Voy. He's already 120 years old. Maybe you should say, for sure I can go. I'm not 80, I'm 120. מה שאין, כי במלחמת Sicha Voy was the Milchama is given למיילו בין הטבע, Wie der Rebbe hat gesagt, von Fures zu Moischen. Altiro Isoi, ki beyot chonosati Oisoi. Look at the Rebbe underline. Beyot chonosati Oisoi. I'm giving him endurance. Veskol ame vesatzo, vesisle kasher, vesisle letzichem melech hameir. In המלחמה von נסעתי, שאני נשנגע דרכי ואנוכס הטבע. Who has to go? אשר יצא לפניהם. Moshe Rabbeinu has to go by himself. Der Rebbe said it's not enough. Ois Wolf, so ist bei das ist Moshe jetzt nicht gestartet gewesen in Milchome bei Molek. It's nicht bloß gewesen an ihm von Eder und Shlili. The Choyra could say, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't go to the war. He gave it over to Yeshua, and he stayed home and he had lunch or whatever. He learned. He was sitting and learning. No, the Rebbe says there is negative and a positive. By not going is negative, and he did something positive. Unbelievable. Listen to this. Weil das ist gewesen an Milchome geführt. Leute Gidrei Teva, darf sie geführt werden durch Yeshua. The war has to be through Yeshua. And now Moshe, what is Moshe doing? Not staying home. Darf nicht gehen bei Milchome. He's not going to Milchome. Nor in them is given an Chiyuvi. There was a positive thing also. What is it? Listen. In Milchome was first b'derech hateva for the 2 Yonim. When you have a war in derech hateva, you need two. You can't say I'm going to rely on an S. There's no nisim. So you have to prepare gashmias. You have to pray to the Eibishter. You need both things. Aleph, die staatliche Politivisch in dem führenden Milchome, was das ist durch die, was seinen Scheich dazu. Geboirim, that's what it says, Pchalon or Anoshim, based in the Sinas Koyach was the Yua from the Eibishter in the Milchome. We need this Yua from the Eibishter. Warum es ist move on? Euch bepschutte shel Mikro, als viele in der Anoge, wie sie Alpiteva, muss man auch mal neza, everybody knows that you can have the best army, you could have everything there. If you don't ask by the Eibishter, the broche to be successful, it's not going to happen. Al Pesach move on, and in the brackets, the Rebbe is going to give you an answer. By the way, something very interesting. Al Pesach move on was Rashi touched oiv Chalon Anoshim Giboirim veYirechet. Why? Should take Schuson Mesayaton. You should take strong people and also God-fearing people. Why? Listen to the Rebbe's point. What the Rebbe is making here. Anything is entered and noted. Chochas in Mechil telefoneinu seine zwei besondere man der Omrim. Give a look in 36. Rabbi Shua im Chalon Anoshim Giboirim. Rabbi Lezer Amoido im Chalon Anoshim Yirechet. The point is, why don't Rashi bring down the two separate versions? Why does he make it into one? Because we must have both. We need Giboirim and we need also Yireh Hashem. We need whoever goes to fight needs both in Yonim. Weil in der Melchomom sich hat die Pschute shel Mikro gefordert, it was necessary bei den Yonim. That's why Rashi makes it into one. Because that's not two Tanoim. One says this, one says this. I must have both. That's why Rashi makes it into one. Did Rashi know that? Why did he make it into one? Why didn't he say that it's two separate Mandomrim? Okay. Okay. Geboirim for the Melchome begashmies, und ihre Chait is on open them Siyua von dem Obersten. Okay. And this now we're going to come back and see where do we see the two things by the Melchome. And this way Yonim seine gewähnt in der Melchome bei Amalek. The two things of Anshe Chayil and praying was here. Where is it? Gvure Gashmis und Koyach Tivi. Was das verbunden mit Gebäude Chayil von einer jungen Gil, ungefähr durch Yeshua und nicht durch Moshe. Yeah? We need people from 20 to 60, strong people, Chalon Anoshim Gebäudim. Bein Atzvile. Who does the davening? If the Meizer was Piyam Elemaila, Azidin soll man erzählen sein, in der Melchome Tivis. Und in dem is moving posted as Moshe is am meisten Matim Rolim. Who is the best one to daven for the Eden? Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why he went up on the mountain and he was davening. That's what he did. So it's not only negative, he didn't go to the war. He did the second part of the war. He did by davening. Right? We're not finished. Yes. Und das hat Moshe gesagt zu Yeshua. Listen, the Rebbe is emphasizing in the Chumash that it says here both things. It says Yeshua and it says Moshe. Chalonu Anoshim. Unbelievable. Why doesn't it say Chalech Anoshim? Moshe is not going to the war. So Yeshua, you choose whoever you want to go between the war. What's it called? The chief of staff has to choose people that he likes. What is Chalonu? There's an emphasis, Chalonu, because Moshe is also involved. And Betzei Lochem Ba'amalek, you go fight with these people, and Mochor Onoichi Nitzav, I'm also doing a part of the Melchome. I'm going to be on the mountain and being praying. Al Rosh Hagivu Mato Elikim B'Yodi. Vavorn to Madgish given beide protim in this posik itself. Unbelievable. Char Lonu, Tzei Lochem and Onoichi Nitzav. Vavorn to Madgish given beide protim was darf sein in der Melchome zu führen die Melchome bepoel. Was auf dem Ort bestimmt Yeshua, Tzei Lochem Ba'amalek, you go fight. Und die Tfile la Kodesh Baruch Hu, was das hat Moshe genommen auf sich. Und neu nicht so weil Rosh Hagivu Mato Elikim Goyma. Was al Rosh Hagivo is given Shori Betainis. The Rashi is mefarish of Moshe Aaron v'Chur. Rashi says that they were fasting all day, those three. Rashi brings proof. Mekan letainis shetzrichim shlosh lavod of Neatevo shebetainis oyu shruim. And it says v'ayi yodo v'muno. What did he do? What did he do with his hands up? Prusos hashomayim bitfilo. He was davening. He took a part positive in this war. Mitzadem kommt noch zu in der Svore von Moshe is nicht gehen in der Milchama. Not only this is enough that Moshe was davening, but he's giving another two reasons. Number one is Shori Betainis und abgeschwacht. If he has to pray and fast, he could not go to the war. He's nicht matem zu geben Milchama. And the Rebbe brings down in 42 that the halacha says that an ir shekifu akum, yeah, you're not allowed to fast. You have to go and you have to eat. Zeindig Rosh Hagivo mit Matalikim und Aromas Yodov, ob wir mitten gekannt sehen und durch dem gehabt Toishvis Koyach ve'ois in der Milchama. Okay, so now after we learn this, what did you just ask? What is the problem? Everything is understood. Why he didn't go to the Milchama? Now the Rebbe is going to tell us why. No, what is the problem? Why does it say Nisatzel? Why Nisatzel? There's no Nisatzel. Aber as Moshe is nicht gegangen mit Milchama, der Fall was soll darf sein der Noge in der Milchama. Underline. This is the way the Milchama has to be done by Yeshua and Moshe should daven. Und deswegen ist es Yaakov Yodov. His hands became heavy. Und Rashi sagt dem Tam, בשביל שנסתzel במצווה ומino achar tachto, because he was lazy and he sent Yeshua somebody else to do it. Bald das Rätsel wegen hat sie von dem Obersten hat Moshe nicht gedacht machen Kirchboines. Noch a Reis gehen Milchama halten mit Amoleken, I mit auf Phileton. Moshe heard that there's Amalek. You are the leader. You go. Don't think about Kirchboines if it bederach hateva bederach nes. The Rebbe says we have to fight. You go and you do it. And Moshe is there. Was is matim lo zeh? Yeah, who's going to pray? If Moshe is going to go in the war, how's he going to pray? The Rebbe says no problem. But he can't meet them in the Milchama, the Matalikim and dort. He could have taken the stick with them. Or if it's there, Maroch, and Mispalal, and Atfilik Tzoro. He could have done Atfilik Tzoro in the war. The Rebbe told you to go. You have to go. Why are you sending Yeshua? Und wir haben schon gelernt, früher bei Kriyas Yamsuf, we see that there could be a Tfilah Tzoro and have an effect. Where do we see it? Bei Kriyas Yamsuf, Shasiden seine Gewinnen sehr eingematzt. Die Mitzrim seine Gewinnen lachorem. Die Mitzrim are running after them. Und der Yam is lifneim. The Yam is in front of them. What do we do? Und Moshe hat sich gestellt, Mispalal sein. Moshe went to daven. Und der Rebbe ist bei ihm gemont, ma titzakelai. It's not a time to daven. It's not a time to scream and cry. Daber al bnei Yisrael v'so, let them go. Rashi is mefarish, Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, lo yeistato la'arch b'tfilo she'Yisrael nesuni b'tzoro. Same thing is here. Moshe could have gone into a tefillah k'tzoro in the war, in middle of the war. The Rebbe, Chotz Moshe had got the timing. Now comes the answer. Chotz Moshe had all the reasons why he didn't go by himself. Und die Cheshboine seine gewähren nicht zu dem Sich. He didn't go because he's an old man, I can't go. No, because it doesn't fit, because it's a Milchama b'derech hateva, has to be done from 20 to 60. Und steht, die Cheshboine seine gewähren nicht zu dem Sich, no, wie es ist matim letoivas ha-Milchama. Wenn it's choino. Also soll sein Shori Betainis und Mispalal sein Rosh Hagivo. Kenal Barucho. Und dazu noch hat bewarnt, he didn't let go, he did not go to the war. He sent somebody instead of him. Shluchah Shalom Kemoishe. Und Mino Achat Achtov, Shluchah Shalom Kemoishe. Was in an anderer Fall, wo das gewinnt an Noge Matim von Moshe Rabbeinu. It's fits to Moshe Rabbeinu. Aber Pi came, wie bald as Dor redt sich wegen Atzivui Hashem, wird Moshe Tanoge gerechnet als an Ingen von Nisatzel, gabi der Moif ma Anoge, was fordert sich bei Mitzvah. Also Rashi said again Nisatzel bei Mitzvah. Moshe did 100% right that he didn't go. But Moshe Rabbeinu, as the Rebbe looks at it, when the Rebbe says to go, don't make any calculations, anything. So Rashi doesn't have to give me another things, because in this word, Nisatzel bei Mitzvah itself, I see that Moshe Rabbeinu was not Nisatzel, he did it right, but the Rebbe is called Nisatzel because he should listen and go and don't make any cheshbonis. Als Taniya von Nisatzel gab der Reufa Anoge, was fordert sich bei Mitzvah, die Greatkeit und das Riesen zu tun am Mitzvah, without any cheshbonis.
Where's the mitzvah? Where is there a mitzvah?
Go kill Amalek.
Mitzvah means
Where's the
mitzvah.
Where's the mitzvah? The commandment.
Say Vilochem.
Moshe told Yeshua.
Du wo dem stimmt was sagen.
Very good question. Sichois. In Neuschas, the Rebbe is going to ask the question and answer it. And my time, now we'll understand also why was he punished that his ends became heavy? Why did he have a stomachache? Why the ends? What is it? The Rebbe is explaining. My time is the Zayin Oynish Gwem Mido connected Mido. The Rebbe is always Mido connected Mido. What is Mido connected Mido? Is Jakru Yodo, was ist ihm gewinnt, schwer euch das, was hat Jogiton als Status beim Milchoma, das was Yodo Brusses und Schwein mit viel. What did he do instead of going? Do me a favor, you hold the hands up. The Rebbe made it should be heavy because you shouldn't have done it, you should have gone to do more. So everything is understood. But now Rabbi Zalman asked a very good question. The Rebbe is going to say, what are you telling me? Because it's a Tzivui Hashem. You don't look at anything, you make no cheshbonis and you go. There was not Tzivui Hashem. Vayova Amalek vayloch Israel. Vayom Moshe Yeshua Pchalonu Anoshim. Nothing with Eibishter. Let's see what the Rebbe is saying. Yes, Loisi was it. Moshe is nicht gewinnt Shaykh Chas v'Sholem an Inyan von cheshbonis. B'shas Rot Tzivui Hashem even deeper. The Moshe is a Tzivui Hashem. He would have gone. There's not Tzivui Hashem here. Aber bei den Gedanken findet man nicht im Posik, als der Onzog, sei Lochem v'Amalek, ist gewinnt ein Tzivui mefurish. There's nothing to do with Eibishter. Von Obersten, Velochen Yeshloima, as when es wohl gewinnt, as that Tzivui, yeah, if that would have been the Eibishter, would have said, sei Lochem, und Moshe allein gleich mit keinem gewinnt, the Tzivui, he wouldn't have made any cheshbonis, and he wouldn't have stayed, he would have gone in the head of the Milchome. Bald as that Tzivui von dem Obersten, auf dem ist nicht gewinnt. There was not Tzivui of the Eibishter. No Moshe Rabbeinu, Roy Israel or das Gitom via Dover Amuv Meilo. What is it understood? Moshe Rabbeinu sees that Amalek is coming. Just going fallen on Eden, going are coming against Eden. Darf man Roy gehen le Milchomo, logen al Israel. Yeshloim azoich lefi amatzkonet. As Amalek hat gekent Milchomo no mit Eden Shalom acharecho. Mit Eden was seinen gewem chutz lonon. Und der Amalek able to touch. It says clear in Posik in Kiseitze. By Zanet v'chokol anech Shalom acharecho. What does it mean? Whoever did Avere and the Onom was throwing him out, they were able, the Amalek should be able to get him. But Moshe Rabbeinu gehalten, as men darf bald Aroizgehen verteidigen die Iden, welche Iden sie sollen noch sein. Don't make any calculation who they are. They did Avere berotzen. They did Avere. They were not honest. Und wie es ist gewähnt, noch als Moshe noch sein, die Mitzrayim. Moshe did already Mitzrayim. Gleich noch dem, wie Vayigdal Moshe vayetzelech. Moshe grew up in Even out. Ich bin aber ja ich mit Srimake ich im Echov, und ich Moshe Rabbeinu nicht gerecht mit dem Tage von dem Mishivri. Ich bin to ask, who is this? Ja, Rosh Hashiva, who is this? No. You touched it, you went and killed the Mitzri. No, vayach es ha-Mitzri. And the Riber, Walt Moshe hat das getan, wer Dover Amuvon me'atzmoi, there was not Tzivui Hashem, nicht als Kiyum von Tzivui mefurish Hashem, hat angenommen, als Dov fordert sich nicht das Seder Anoge on Cheshbonis, also wie bei Tzivui mefurish. That's why he didn't go, and he sent Yeshua instead. So why do you say Nisatzel? And the Rebbe is going to say again. Bei dem Obersten Nobel hat sich das gerechnet als ein Inyan von Nisatzel be-Mitzvah. Warum? Wenn Goyim kommen Milchoma mit Iden, ist es a viele Farmat in Teura Mitzvah. You don't have to wait, the Rebbe should tell you. A Goy comes against Aid, you have to go out and fight. Und a Mitzvah chik doilo, so a Reus gehen be-Milchoma leogen al Israel. Und es darf getan werden, keine Betrachtungen und no thinking and no calculations. You have to go. Agambe nicht in the Dan is nicht gewend auf Tzivui von Obersten, but still, the Goyim came against the Eden, you have to go out and fight with them. So now everything is understood. By Rashi doesn't bring any other Perushim. By Moshe didn't go, by Eibishter it's still ein of Nisatzel, and that's what Rashi writes Nisatzel b'mitzvah and not Nisratzel. Stam, unbelievable what the Rebbe. Now comes the Oiroe from this in a way that it's just telling us what happened with Moshe Rabbeinu, what we have to do. Und dem Pirush Rashi ist da, Oiroe niflo in Avodah Sodom. She's moving das jeder Inyan und Prat in Teuro is Oiroe nitzris. Der Alte Rebbe says in Tanya Resh Perik Zayin that any Prat in Teuro is Oiroe nitzris. B'chol hazmanim u'b'chol hamokim. Any place and any time. Ist das woif meyuchet b'yesher Seis u'b'yesher Roz in the meaning from Melchames Amalek. Und wie das Trik Sichois become yon mem. The stories that we learn in Chumash Bereshis, the things that we learn in Shmois, whatever you learn is Oiroe to us. The Rebbe says something unbelievable geschmack, that when it comes to Amalek, we have a very special Oiroe, more than anywhere else, to learn from that, how to conduct ourselves. Why? The Rebbe is going to give two reasons. Aleph, Tzivui mefurish. It says clear in the Torah, Ksoiv Zois, Zikorim Basefer. Why Zikorim Basefer? We should learn from it. It's the only thing that it says in Torah that the Rebbe tells Moshe to write it into the Torah. The Rebbe didn't tell it. It doesn't say that the Rebbe told them to write Bereshis Bor Elokim. Here the Rebbe told them write it in. So it's a special thing for us to learn from it. It says that the real Imayle from Zikorim Baksav, mitzadem was the Chol Shikostu Batoiro, Adovo Avenitzri. Yeah, as we said before, the Alter Rebbe says and it brings down from the Ragishover. It says anything that's in the Torah is Adovo Nitzri. In here the Rebbe says to write it into the Torah. It says Melchames Amalek b'Yesar Toike ve'Ilui. Why? Gebalt is do of them at Sivu Meyuchet. Ksoiv Zoi Zikore. This is number one. Number two, base, in Dibur Hashem Guf, wird angesagt mit der Gosche, auf dem Minister Bidi Venitzri. In dem Ebersten himself saying, Milchomo Lashem Ba'amolek, mit Doir. So we see that there's two rayas that the Milchomo of Amalek is teaching us more than anything else that we see in the Torah. Biz, as der Inyan HaNitzrish B'Milchome, Zu, Zog Zicharois in Atzivui Kipshuto. What is it? What is the mitzvah Kipshuto, what it says in the Torah, what to do with Amalek? It's a mitzvah sesem in a Torah, Lizkoir Tomid, Maso Voroim. The Rebbe brings it in Lashon Rambam. Aloch in Sefer Hayad. Always remember these bad things that he did. It says a mitzvah Lizkoir Maso Amalek B'chol Yoim, the Kamodeis, also that it's min a Torah. And then we move on. As nicht bloß der Teuchung von Milchemes Amalek ist nicht nichts bei Avodah Ruchnis. Not only the whatever happened there. Now, euch der Oifma Milchama, wie die Milchama darf geführt werden, ist eine Rohe Nitzris. You know what the Rebbe is going to tell us? That when we learn from Amalek how to do the war and how to be Mekarev in everything, we have to do not like Moshe Rabbeinu in Nisatzeli send somebody, but as we said at the Rebbe once, that we should do it, that everybody should do it. Und noch mal, es ist Negea in dem Zman, von Likkutei Sichois. This is we said before, b'chol hazman v'b'chol ha'mekoimos. Now the Rebbe says, especially Likkutei Sichois. Why? Steht in Tag mit Jenis und Ben Uziel, der Führers Milchama Lashem ba'Amalek mit Doir. The Apostel in Eintike Parshe, Milchama Lashem ba'Amalek mit Doir. So the question is, why does it say mit Doir? Milchama Lashem ba'Amalek b'chol ha'doiros. What's mit Doir? So the Tag mit Jenis learns that there is three generations, that three categories, that this is the time of Milcham Amalek. All generations from Amalek till our generation, that's one. Our generation equals to the Mashiach is a second, that's what the Tawiyan says. The third one of Mashiach is going to come. Then it's going to be eradicated completely, Amalek. So the F3 does. So the Rebbe says, Limud Meyuchet for us in equals to the Mashiach, but we have to learn from the story of Amalek. For Mechias Amalek is Dore, the equals to the Mashiach. One of the three is Dore, the equals to the Mashiach. Oishud. Now, we're going to understand what is the limud, what do we have to learn from it. That we not verstehen durch Bavoren and noch Chelek Klolis in the mean. We're going to answer one more question, a general question of this story, then we're going to have the limud, what we have to do. So the was bichlal, the sale Torah as Rabbi Moshe Klein, as the Satz from Moshe. The boy Nishloilom. What does the Torah have to tell us that? The story that Moshe sent were heavy, and they've got a rock, he sat down, and they were all the gesens. Why? It's doch klar, dass viele begnus bei ihm und Meyelo die Berakosov. Die Gemara in Babasra tell us that in Bereshis, when we see that Noach took in the animals into the table, it says, the posik, he came. What is he came? He had done 8 letters, not to say Abeima Atmeyo. Why? Because we don't want to embarrass the Beime. So he said that we're not allowed to embarrass Abeime. How much more so is Moshe Rabbeinu? But not to forget that when it comes to halacha, you have to mention it. In Chumash it says Pesachazir and all the other things that is mentioned. But when just tell you a story that Noach took in the table these 7 and 2 animals, it doesn't have to say that it's Atmeyo. It says
Not sure for me.
why?
I don't know.
For sure. What's the question?
The Gnostic state.
Yes. That's what I think the Gemara tells us.
Not sure.
Yeah.
The Gemara is something.
It says Gemara in Babasra.
Ja, da, aber dann krieg ich so.
Okay.
Wunder, wir haben nicht geschrieben.
Geschrieben.
Ja, der kann bringen die Dinge.
Same thing.
So,
Same. Okay. But that's what it is. Gnus. That's why. Ich came across of Shmoyne Oishes. Yeah. Shmoyne. So machen wir Gedenk, ja. ולחץ כמה ואי, בת הבאים, ולחץ כמה וכמה ובני אודם, ובפרט בני ישראל, ובפרט יש משה רבינו. You know משה רבינו is? הנברא מכל מין האודם. רמב"ם, in Pirush HaMishnayos in Sanhedrin, says, Nifra mכל מין האודם. The Torah tell us that Moshe was lazy, and that's why his hands are heavy. The boy told him, why? When I'm going to move on, this is telling us something to teach us what we have to learn from it. What is it? The pure opposite. The Rebbe is going to explain what it is. Amalek b'milchamtoi gekannt vergehr sein, nur die Eden bei Wemmen, she's going to achlish in emunas Hashem. Who did Amalek be able to touch? Only the people that had weakness in believing in the Eibishter. Wir steht im Posik, im Parshas Beshalach, vayzanev becho, no, kol hanechashol macharecho. Those that they were out of the cloud, because they did Aveire. Was das meint, wie rasch der Teich, Haserim koyach, mach maschatom, because they did Aveire. Shoyo, Onon, Poilton, the Onon, spit him out. Noch die, was seine Gewämme Chusleonen. Aber die Iden, was haben sich gefunden, inne wenig, Zeyot Amalek nicht gekannt Torah. Amalek could not touch somebody that is in the cloud. The Torah und Ninyan davon beruchen ist die Bechol HaDoros. We have in all the generations we have such a thing. What do we have? Rubam Kekulam von Bnei Israel gefinden sich betoichonon. Rebbe says Rubam Kekulam von Am Israel. They're all in the cloud. In Gvul und inne wenig von Torah Mitzvahs. Bechlal verbunden mit Neubesten. They are connected with the Eibishter. Each one according to his matzef. Und der Onon, Teuro Mitzvahs, what's the Onon? The Onon is Teuro Mitzvahs, is making a feed von alle Ruchos Doros. It's watching them from all strange winds. But bloßen von Chutz Letrum HaKdusha, that they are blowing outside of the Kedusha. Befrat von Amalek. Is guiding him, watching him from Amalek. Why? Because Amalek has two things. Amalek, as the Rebbe is going to say, he has two things. Bring Krirus, Asher Kocho in Yoni Yadus. Asher Kocho Baderech means literally that he met you in the way going out of Mitzrayim. And Asher Kocho al Pichsides is when he makes you cool. He calls you off in the warren to be learning and davening and doing things for the Eibishter. The Rebbe is saying now, as einen Eden, there is voran Jews. Was Mistibes Schöne sein, sie nicht mit euch Honon. Der Seder Achaim is Leisato noch nicht den ganzen Batomet der Reus der Teure. There are some Jews that are not, as of now, as it's supposed to be. The Farken Amalek. What is Amalek? Amalek is the gematria, numerical value of Sofek. He could have a Zutrit to say, when reinwerfen in say Sveikes, he could give him Sveikes in Emune. Number one, Bechoiles Hashem. He gives him Sveikes in Emune in the Rebishter's power. Und Krirus in Yonek Dushe. Asher Kochen in Yonek Dushe. Can the Riber Gimol sein? Now the Rebbe tells you what could happen. As a Zayid, the Rebbe is going to tell us a calculation that that is a perfect Jew, what this calculation is going to be. As a Zayid was gefindt sich mit euch Honon, soll trachten bei sich, he makes a calculation like this. Was für ein Scheiches hab ich mit die, was gefindt sich mit Chutz von dem Honon? Rechnet, dass der Eiden noch nicht kein Scheiches dem. I am in the Honon, they did a very, the Honon threw him out, spit him out. I have to do with them. I have no connection with them. It's continuing. Wie schlimm, die wo seine mit euch Honon, das kriegt der in die Honon. What does it mean? Sie lernen teure und seine kein Mitzvahs. Noch es fällt sie in der Schlimmste, was er. Not everybody is a sholem, not everybody is a complete person. Oder viele nicht Poshut. There could be somebody is in the Honon and is a Poshut. Was ist in der Tage von heute wird er Hashem Mecha. Is chopping wood and is drawing water to give to people. Is noch ein Name. It's true. As for him, sein Dick von der Roshechem Shivtechem, he thinks about himself. I'm Roshechem Shivtechem. Is dos lefi daitoi, he thinks, I read the Shtom et Hazayit in the Marosh. For me to go sit with such a guy I'm lowering myself. Aber Rafa became 2000, but still he's going to do it. Why? We bald as of read sich das wegen einem was gefindt sich mit ihm in einem mit Honon. You talk about somebody that is still in the Honon, so he's doing it. Aber was war Shaykh Sotter is finishing his complaint. Was war Shaykh Sotter teineter für dem was gefindt sich mit Chutz Leon und Rahmod al-Islam. What connection do I have with him? Mit ihm will nicht stoppen, I don't want to have anything to do with him. The Chol HaYoser is for a Jew. What is he going to do? He has an idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn Torah. I'm going to give tzedakah for his marriage that he should come back into the Honon. Chol HaYoser, אתה מייס על זכות שבדים את התורה, der נעבד את התפילה וכאלה שבזה. Aber tzei, lochem, הרוי שגים von Nikois לבית מדרש, oder von Nikois לבית הכנסת. Go out of shul, go out of beit מדרש. Und sich weglassen und suchen einen zweiten Nied in der Zwiebel, was mit Chutz leHonon. Go look for a guy that is, the Honon threw him out. A mokem, was ist nicht kein mokem von ihrer Stomai. Das hat doch eure Gorkin, I have nothing. And what do we see about the Milchome? Moshe Rabbeinu told Yeshua, Yeshua is going to take off Moshe, taking the in Eretz He's Layomish Mutech oil. What is he doing? He gets out of the oil and he goes to get these Jews. Amazing. Veret noch oiber is an Adarge. The Rebbe says even more. If he thinks that he's an Adarge of the Roshim Nosoi, or if he does the Shaykh Bisman Hazeh, there's no Shaykh, it should be the idea of the Roshim Nosoi, is ein Svore und Tam HaShlile noch größer und starker. So his opinion, not to have anything to do with them, even more. Tochen. How could it be? So maaf zu sein von Azar oif min Limud HaTorah. My Darge in Limud HaTorah is the Roshim Nosoi. Right? Arois geht zu di, there's a aloche. Somebody is the Roshim Nosoi as it was, is Kutlein Krishmi once in 30 days, and that doesn't have to daven. There are so many things. Allah says, I should leave all this and go out and look for Chutz leHonon for somebody like this. Arois geht zu di, wo seine mit Chutz leHonon, but geht zu make sein of von der Amalek. I should prepare him and bring him back. starken sehen sie Emune, stranden in Emune, der weiter sie von Achet, make him should not do Averes, und bewirken sie zum Keim, sie noch Mitzvahs, als dem Influencer him to do more Mitzvahs, auf dem Otman der Roe. Und der erste Milchome beiden, now we're going to come back to the Milchome. Arois gehen dich von Mitzrayim, this is Milchemes Amalek, Aroe in dem Alem. What's the Roe? The Rebbe is going to say what it is. Bishas Amalek kommt und verschäppet sich mit Haiden. Amalek comes and he starts with a Jew, which Jew? Was gefindet sich mit Chutzlot and is outside of the cloud. A viele Leute sagen, gefindet sich dort, ist was Schmosse von dem Iden. It's his fault, Idi da wäre. Kenis kaloin machmas chatoim, that's why die anderen spit him out. Darfen die Iden, was gefinden sich mit Techonon. A Roish kommen von dort, begleich zu megen sein auf dem Iden, in seinem Milchome gegen Amalek. You have to go out and look for him and save him. Da Rabbi, wer darf das sein bei Iker? Who has to do it? Die was darf man Roish zu beschützen Iden von Amalek? Who is it? Die Rechet. Rabbi bringt seine Aloch in Shulchan Aruch in Hilchos Shabbos, das Mitzvah begodel. Die Rechet, was darf sie haben dem Koyach zu leuchten sein Milchemes Amalek. They have the Koyach. Und der Oimet bei Rosh HaMilchome, who is it? Yeshua. Wenn man mit angesagt, Pralo no Anoshim ve 10 Millionen und Elohim Amalek. Moshe told them, you go choose the people and go out of the honor and you go fight. Was Yeshua is given, la yom is mitoich hoyen. What did you do with Moshe Rabbeinu? Day and night it was always Moshe Rabbeinu sitting and learning. The Rosh Yom Nosai. And he left everything and he went out of the honor. The Rosh Yom Nosai never gedacht anführen die Milchome. Und the Teure is Moshe noch mehr. Now we're coming to the bottom line. How geschmack it is. That Moshe didn't go out then, but we have to learn Moshe from the Eibishter comes out, that Moshe also had to go out. Und die Teure ist Moshe noch mal, so viele Moshe, was hat beätzem und ihm schon ungefähr die ganze Milchome. He's the one that he conducted the Milchome. Hat mir meine gewinnt, Yeshua als Schluchoi zu führen die Milchome, und hat allein geführt die Milchome beruchnis mit Philosophie. He was davening, he do the second part, weil Yodo v'Munah ad Boya Shemesh, ist dem ganzen Tag, ich bin schon, mit Tiny ist die Fasting all day, und ist gestanden bei Yodo auf Brusitz, das schon mal mit Philo, stretching out his hand to pray to the Eibishter, und hat durch dem gepoilt, dem Govar ist Kohen. Moshe Rabbeinu had the effect that Govar ist Kohen, aber trotzdem allem, besides all this, Neusav al kol ze, hat allein gedacht, Rois gehen sich mit Stadt sein in der Milchome, ma mish pshute kemashmo. That's why Rashi says Nisatzei. According to the Eibishter, you should have gone out also. What do we have to learn from it? If you do not the Amalek, don't think about yourself, you are a Rosh Noso, you are a tzaddik, you whatever you are. You have to go out. Even the highest, the greatest level person has to go out and do it. Even Godel is also a lesson. Es ist nicht genug Status Ruchnis in der Milchome bei Amalek b'chol doyer. Es mochte di. No, it's not enough to do Ruchnis. Kann sich nicht mit Stab sein mit dem, was wird sagen, Kapitel Tilim, als die Eden sollen sich umkehren zur Wirklichkeit. Beautiful thing. Is in on. It's going to take a Tilim and say Tilim for them. No, it's not enough. It's a very important thing. You have to say Tilim. Because you need the prayers to be able to get them back. But you have to go out and do it. Sie soll nicht maßlich, soll schicken seine Schluchen auf dem. Not enough. Noch darf allein rausgehen und tun, he has to go out himself and do it, was is nötig zu machen sein, or feeden. But you have to be able to bring back the Eden into the honor. Weil der noch so, if we're going to do this anoge, as man geht nicht mit Cheshboines, mit Tam und das, you put away all the Cheshboines that the Rebbe wanted from Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why he starts it. Abal was he seinen die Kedushe, it's Tam und das die Kedushe. Moshe Rabbeinu had a real calculation why he didn't go. In the so if we're doing the mile von calculation in the mochitim chezecha Amalek that we're learning in Parshas Beshalach, that it's a mitzvah on us to do, you know what we're going to have an effect? We're going to have an effect that the Rebbe führt sich, the Rebbe also. The Rebbe is going to do the same thing. In what? What it says in our Parsha. Mochitim chezecha Amalek. The Rebbe is going to be erasing the name of Amalek. Echa von Cheshbonis with it, well, the Rebbe is going to do kaviyochel, so to say, Aya from Medizor. What could be by the Rebbe Aya von Akbolas? Und is medallic auf den Cats. Doesn't make for the Cats. Bring Moshiach right now. Bring the Geule Asido, was demol wird sein, Hashem Sholem, Akishi Sholem. In the end of this parsha, it says, Ki Yod al Keis Kom, Melchom al Hashem Ba'amalek Medoyer Doyer. The Rashi asks, can have enforcement, what is Ki Yod al Keis? And what is Ko? Why not Kisei, why not Yud Kei Vav Kei? So Rashi says, yeah, also Ein Akishi Sholem, Ein Hashem Sholem. Till Mashiach is going to come and Amalek is going to be eradicated completely. Was the Zanyam al Hashem Sholem, Vakise Sholem, Bekorev Mamish, Ubeagolo Didan. Sicha Shabbos Parshas Beshalach, Shabbos Parshas Sicha, Tov Shin Mem Aleph.